Welcome guys to Big Les Barbecue, and today we've got another fantastic tasty cook, and we're going to go for beef ribs. And normally I cook them as a full rack of ribs, but I want that extra bark, that extra crispiness, that smack of flavour in the mouth. So I've got them cut into individual ribs, and that's going to build up plenty of bark on the outside of these and make for good eating. So I'll bring you in and see we've got our beautiful fat marbled throughout these beef ribs. We're going to trim off the silver skin on the top, and we're going to get a nice simple rub made up, and then we'll transfer them to that barbecue before mopping them in a beautiful coffee mop. You can see there's a bit of silver skin left on the top of these. Beautiful intramuscular fat. We need to remove that if we want to get all that flavour, because that's just going to be a barrier to stop us getting that bark and flavour built up in these ribs. I have dry brined them overnight, so covered them in some sea salt, and I've left them in the fridge overnight. And I want to trim them up, take as much of that silver skin off the top as we can. So it's just a case of keeping them cold, getting your knife underneath that silver skin, make your first incision, and try not to take too much of the meat, but we do want to get rid of that silver skin, because as I said, that's going to be your barrier, and we want that bark, that crispiness, that crunchiness, that beautiful bark that we all really want when we're cooking beef ribs, and beef ribs are fantastic for beautiful bark. So I'm going to get these trimmed up. I'll bring you back when it's ready to season. So we want to keep this rub nice and simple, Texas style-y. Sea salt, cracked black pepper, onion and garlic. Majority of it's going to be the salt and pepper, but I'm going to take 2, let's make it 3 parts, so that's 3 tablespoons salt, 1, 2, 3 pepper, then onion powder, onion granules, don't get the powder because it cakes up, sorry. 1 tablespoon of the onion, and then garlic granules, just under 1 tablespoon. We don't need as much of that because we don't want it bitter on the outside. And there you go guys, got a nice Texas style beefy rub in our shaker. So let's get these ribs rubbed up. We'll finish off seasoning these ribs up. Make sure you get all them edges. Don't need to worry about the bone side. But once we've got these seasoned up, we'll leave them to hang out on the board, just start to sweat up. Let's get the barbecue set up for low and slow, guys. We're going to be smoking these at 120 degrees Celsius, around the 250 degrees Fahrenheit, and we are cooking them naked for the entire cook. I'll see you when it's time to pop them on the barbecue. barbecue is now up to temp, sitting beautifully at just over 120 degrees Celsius, and I'll come back down when we drop our meat in. You'll see I've transferred the ribs to a wire rack. It's just going to make it easier for me to transport around, and they do look pretty stunning. So what I'm going to do now is lift up the lid. We've got our heat deflector plate in, and I've also set up a dripping pan underneath, but I'm not going to put any water in there because we're going to be mopping this in a minute with our coffee mop. In with the ribs, oak smoke. It's going to roll for at least 40 minutes before we start to mop it. So let's get on with making the mopping sauce. The ribs are coming up on that 40-minute mark, and they're around an internal temp of around 54 degrees Celsius, so it's time for that mopping sauce. And as I said, fresh filtered coffee, squeeze that down, and take a cup of fresh filtered coffee. This is hot straight out of the kettle. To that, we're going to add about a cup of ketchup, two tablespoons of brown sugar, a good dash of black pepper, a good dash of salt, and I've left my Worcestershire sauce over there. Hello. Can't be beefy without a good tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. We'll take our mop and we're just going to stir that and let them flavours get to know each other before mopping the ribs. So we're 7.5 hours in, guys. I've been nursing these, mopping them every hour on when the top of the surface starts to look dry. They're at 94 degrees internal temp, but I'm probing them, and as you can see, they are just probing like butter. So I think it's time to pop them off. I'm going to wrap them up in our butcher's paper and rest. See you when it's time for tasting, guys. So these have been resting on the board just enough time for Dave to have his walk around the block. And let's unwrap these little beauties. Just look at the back. Ooh, it's fall off the bone. So let's get all these unwrapped and get to slicing. Shall we oh yeah, take that off the bone. Let's go in for a slice. Guys, look at that beautiful smoke ring. Look at them juices flowing. Let's bring you up. Nice, full one. Pull back on the bone. Beautiful back, guys. That is not burnt. That is back. That is flavour. And there's only one thing less to do. Man-sized bite. Check out that smoke ring. They are the best beef ribs I've ever done. They weren't even expensive beef ribs. Perfect mouthful of beef. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I can't even speak. It's that good. I'm enjoying it so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below. I've said it all before, but do it. Go on, do it, guys. Say hi. Me and Dave, we're going to go inside and we're going to enjoy these beef ribs. I'm going to have to stop talking to you guys. I'm going for another bite. While I'm eating these, why don't you check out this video over here? Yum.